David was eating the most exquisite food in his private room. It was great having money. This was the food that he never dared to dream about eating. Now, he was eating half of it and throwing the rest away. As he was enjoying himself, the door was pushed open. David thought Pearl was here, so he said, "Miss Pearl, come and have some." When he turned his head, he saw a man in his 30s walking over. Pearl was walking at the back while in front of him was a man in his 40s or 50s. Aside from Pearl, he did not know the two men. However, Pearl looked off color and her eyes were slightly red. Therefore, David knew what was going on. "Mr. Liddell, hello, I am the boss here and my name is Hugh Green. May I know if you're happy with the food and service provided here, Mr. Liddell? If you need anything, you can tell me and we'll definitely fulfill your request," Hugh said modestly after he approached David. He was very interested in David. He must be a rich kid from a rich family since he could take out 100 million just to eat and have fun. Plus, he was so young too, hence Hugh wanted to get to know him. It was not a bad thing to know more friends. Hugh was a businessman, and the larger his network, the more opportunities he would have. Golden Leaf Hotel was just one of his industries. He was managing a lot of different industries at the same time, so there was a chance he could work with David or David's family in the future. "Hello, Mr. Green, I'm very satisfied with this place." "That's great. I heard you're a top student at SRU. What a talented young man," Hugh said respectfully. "Yes, but I'm not that talented. I know myself better than anyone." "Mr. Liddell, you're too modest. SRU is one of the top 5 universities in the country. Anyone who can study there needs to be elite in their respective industries. This is my card. If you need me, you can call me at any time." Hugh then handed a shiny card to David. "Mr. Green, I want to ask you something," David asked when he took the card. "Please, go ahead. Are you selling this hotel?" Huh, Hugh was stunned by that question. Not only Hugh, Sean and Pearl behind him were also stunned. "Mr. Liddell, are you joking?" Hugh smiled and asked, "Do I look like I'm joking? If you're selling, I'm buying." "This is no joking matter," David said seriously. "Mr. Liddell, do you know that the construction of this hotel alone cost over $10 billion, and that does not include the land? Are you sure you want to buy it? Of course, if you're selling, just state a price. If you're not, then so be it." Hugh looked at David for a while. He felt that he could not understand this kid that was younger than him by more than a decade. He could ignore the fact that David took out 100 million just for food, but now he was asking him if he was willing to sell the hotel. There were some people who could take out a few $100 million in cash, but there were not a lot of people who could take out billions in cash. Even if David had hundreds of billions in assets, his family would not let him do this. Is he the heir of an invisible rich family? I think only these people can play around like this, Hugh thought in his heart. "Mr. Liddell, if you're serious about buying, it's doable. However, I need to discuss this with our shareholders. After all, this hotel doesn't belong to just me. However, I need to inform you that we need to be paid in cash." "All right, go ahead. Tell me as soon as possible after you get the answer," David answered nonchalantly. "Okay, Mr. Liddell, please enjoy your meal. I'll give you an answer later," Hugh said and left the private room. Sean also followed after him. Pearl initially wanted to leave, but David stopped her. "Miss Pearl, wait, I have something to tell you." Pearl thought about it, and in the end, she decided to stay. She could lose her job, but she could not lose David. Earlier, when David said he wanted to buy this hotel, she was petrified. This would cost him billions of dollars and they were asking for it in cash. If David bought this place, David would not fire her based on their relationship. It was possible that he might even promote her. She really hoped that the boss would sell the hotel to David and David could afford it. She already gave the boss a bad impression of her, so if she did not get a new boss, it would be hard to say if she could keep her job. After Hugh got back to his office, he took out his phone and opened WhatsApp. Then, he sent a message to a group chat with only 4 people. "Hugh, brothers, someone wants to buy the Golden Leaf Hotel at River City, should we sell?" Soon, someone named Earl Durham replied to him. "Earl, who is this extravagant person?" "Hugh, it's a university student named David Liddell. He's studying in SRU. "James, a university student?" "Hugh, old boy, are you being conned? How can a university take out tens of billions to buy our hotel?" "Earl, I think so too." "Hugh, do I look like someone who's easily conned?" Bill, yes, Hugh, I'm not joking with you guys. I'm serious, are we selling or not? He's still waiting for an answer. Earl, this depends on you. You're the biggest shareholder. Hugh, all of your shares combined are more than mine. If I want to sell but you guys refuse, I can't do anything about it. James, is he really going to buy? Who is he? Are you sure he can afford it? Hugh, I think he does. Yesterday, he just topped up a membership card with 100 million for food. James, if that's the case, he might not be joking. Who do you think he is, guys? He's so young and he can take out so much cash. Earl, could be a successor of those invisible rich families. Bill, say something. Didn't you interact with these people before? Bill, if he can really take out tens of billions in cash to buy Golden Leaf Hotel, then I can basically be sure he's one of them. They're usually out here to gain some experience and suffer some hardship before they eventually take over a part of their family's industry when the time comes. Hugh, should we look him up? Bill, don't. If he finds out, you won't even know how you died. Hugh, is he so powerful? What era are we in? Aren't you blowing this out of proportion? Bill, you never experienced some things, so that's why you don't know what life is really like. They are so powerful that it's scary. If there's a chance, I'll show you. James, I wanted to see how badass these so-called invisible figures are from a long time ago. Earl, me too. Hugh, alright, so, are we selling or not? Bill, how much is he offering? Hugh, he asked me to name him a price. Bill, what about you two? I'm fine, I'll just go according to you two. I don't lack money. If it's a done deal, I want to get to know this person. James, I think we can sell it for 18 billion. Back when the hotel was completed, we spent about 12 billion. We made a profit of tens of billions of dollars throughout the years anyway. I think if we sell at 18 billion, we can get back about double the investment. I have a project right now and we can invest that money into this project. Hugh, what project is it? James, it's not decided yet. When it's done, we'll find a time to meet up and talk about it. Earl, I think it's doable. Hugh, just tell him 20 billion. If he negotiates, the minimum is 18 billion. We won't sell if it's lower than that. Hugh, alright, I'll tell him 20 billion and see what he says. I'll go now and give you guys an update soon. After they reached an agreement, Hugh was about to go downstairs to tell David the price. Golden Leaf Hotel. Pearl stayed behind and asked David, David, are you sure you want to buy this hotel? Yes, I am. I'm just worried that your boss won't sell it to me. Who is your boss? David asked. I am not sure either. Mr. Green rarely comes to the hotel. Usually, he will show up during the annual dinners. I heard he has other companies too and Golden Leaf is just one of them. That mysterious? Then it might be a bit hard. He might not need this measly sum of money, David said. This measly money, 20 to 30 billion, was just measly to him. Was this the circle of the ultra-rich? This was so scary. Pearl was going numb. She had worked in the most high-end hotel in South River for 3 to 4 years and with her natural advantages, had met a lot of clients and made a lot of friends. Some of them had a net worth in the billions, or even tens of billions. She felt that she was almost reaching this circle. However, David taught her a lesson over these 2 days. It seemed that the people she got into contact with were just the tip of the iceberg. When it came to these truly ultra-rich, they might just spend tens of billions just because of their interest or even as a spur-of-the-moment thing. The so-called rich people with net worths of billions she knew might be nothing compared to David and Mrs. Green. The money they spent after a thoughtless statement might be their entire net worth. How could they compare? They were not even on the same level. When Pearl thought about this, she looked at David with more satisfaction. This was the man of her dreams. Even though he was young, his temperament was flawless. He would discuss a business of more than tens of billions during a random meal. It felt as if he was an emperor who was talking idly about important matters. If David knew what was on Pearl's mind, he would have laughed so hard his jaw would have fallen off. Flawless temperament, talking idly about important matters. I was just a loser with only slightly more than $1,000 to my name who was ditched by my FC King X because of a $10,000 bag 2 days ago. Any normal person who obtained limitless wealth all of a sudden would have a good temperament in this materialistic society. They might even be more extravagant than me. Pearl looked at David, who was eating, and then averted her gaze. She said, perhaps not. Everything has a price. If David is willing to pay a high price, Mr. Green will sell. Mr. Green is a smart businessman, and his goal is to get the most profit he can. It sounds possible after your analysis. Come, don't stand there, Miss Pearl. Sit down and eat something. If I buy this hotel, I'll let you manage it, David said carefree as he ate. Pearl heard what David said. She felt a buzz in her head and it almost caused her to pass out. What did David say just now? He would let her manage this hotel after he bought it. She would be the general manager. Even though the difference between a lobby manager and a general manager was just one word, the position and treatment were not even on the same level. It would be massively different. The general manager was the highest authority here aside from Mr. Green, and the other chairman. If Mr. Green was not around, he would be the boss here. Plus, his annual salary with his bonus was over $10 million. How much was she making a year? Now, David was saying he would buy the hotel and let her be the general manager. Wasn't this an instant success? David, darling, are you joking? Pearl asked, feeling lightheaded. Of course not. Why does everyone think I'm joking? Didn't I tell you, if your boss causes trouble for you, I'll buy the boss and make you the boss. I saw that your eyes were red when you entered the door. I believe your boss might have caught you going out this morning. When Pearl heard that, her eyes turned red again. Tears also spilled out of her eyes uncontrollably. However, this was not for the same reason as moments ago. Right now, she was touched and was ecstatic. David, we've known each other for 2 days. Why are you so good to me? You gave me a car and you even let me stay in such a nice house for free. Now, you're even buying this hotel to promote me, Pearl said as she sobbed. David heard that something was not right with Pearl's voice, so he turned around to look. Miss Pearl, why are you crying? When David was about to say something, the door was pushed open. Pearl quickly recomposed herself and stood to one side. Hugh walked in with Sean behind him. Just now, Sean was waiting for Hugh outside his office. Now, he also followed Hugh down here. He had no choice. This was the moment to determine his fate. The boss of this hotel might change at any time. If there was a change, would he still be the general manager? Judging from Pearl and David's relationship, the chances were slim. His annual salary was $6 million in this position and his bonus was about $10 million too. In addition to that, Mr. Green was always not around, so he was like the boss here. He could also secretly make some ill-gotten gains of around a few million. Where would he find such a good job again if he lost this one? Over these years, he even used his power to take advantage of those female attendants who wanted to climb up the ladder. He even hinted at Pearl a few times, but she always ignored him. If Pearl was not good at her job, he would have fired her a long time ago. At this moment, he could only pray that this transaction was unsuccessful. If not, his good days would come to an end. Sean, you should go out with Ms. Warner. I need to talk to Mr. Liddell. After Hugh walked in, he said to Sean behind him. Yes, Mr. Green. Yes, Mr. Green. Sean and Pearl answered at the same time. Then, they left the private room. Mr. Liddell, are you serious about buying this hotel? Hugh asked after he sat down. Of course, Mr. Green. If you're selling, I'm buying, answered David. Mr. Liddell, I just discussed with the shareholders and if you're serious about buying, you need to pay this price. What do you think? Hugh then gestures a 2 with his fingers. 20 billion. Yes, Mr. Liefeld. You should know that this hotel is located in the busiest area in River City and it's also in the busiest area in South River Province. The renovations were also done according to the highest standard. The profit is rising steadily every year, so you won't suffer a loss at this price. Alright, 20 billion it is. However, I'm not familiar with the handover. Just contact Pearl directly. She'll be the general manager here from now on, David said nonchalantly. It was just 20 billion. It was nothing. Actually, he had never even spent $200 so carefreely before. Great. Since you've agreed to this, it's a deal then. However, the process of a handover is mired in minor details, so it might take around a week. According to the rules, you'll have to pay a 10% deposit. If for any reason you're unable to continue with this transaction, we won't return the deposit to you. Okay. Hugh took out his phone and made a call. A voice came from the phone soon after. Hello, Mr. Green. This is Jack Hansen. How may I help you? The person who answered the phone was the head of financial affairs in Golden Leaf Hotel. Mr. Hansen, come to private room 3, Hugh said into the phone. Okay, Mr. Green, please wait a moment. I'll be there soon, answered Jack. 10 minutes later, there was a knock on the door. Come in. Sean, Pearl, you should come in too, Hugh said. After the door was opened, Jack, Sean, and Pearl entered the room together. Allow me to announce something. Mr. Liddell and I have reached an agreement. We'll transfer Golden Leaf Hotel to Mr. Liddell for a fee of $20 billion. Mr. Hansen, prepare to receive the deposit and draft an invoice. The transaction will be done within a week, Hugh looked at the three of them and said. The three of their expressions were different when they heard this news. Jack was indifferent. He had been around Hugh for many years. Not only was he the head of financial affairs in the Golden Leaf Hotel, but he also held other jobs at other places. His workload would be reduced if Hugh sold Golden Leaf Hotel. On the other hand, Sean's face turned gray. He was a general manager Hugh found using a headhunting company. Even though he lost a job here, it would be easy for him to find another job. However, it would be difficult to find one as good as this one. Pearl was the happiest one among them. Her face was red from excitement and she looked very charming now. Jack gave David an account and David immediately transferred 10% of the deposit, which was $2 billion, into the account. After that, he got a receipt from Jack. After he paid the deposit, there was nothing uncertain about this transaction anymore. The way Hugh looked at David was also different now. According to Bill, if this kid could take out so much money to buy the hotel, then he must be a child from a hidden rich family. Hugh did not know much about this group. They were a little mysterious, but they were terrifyingly powerful. If he was not at a certain level, he would not be able to get into contact with them. He also heard that these people were not just rich. At this moment, David said, Mr. Green, I'm still a student so I don't have so much time to handle the handover, so you can just go to Miss Pearl. She'll be the general manager here from now on. Mr. Hansen, execute this according to Mr. Liddell's orders, Hugh said to Jack. Okay, Mr. Green. Then, Hugh turned to say to David, Mr. Liddell, the deal is done, so we're friends now. It makes us sound like strangers if you keep calling me Mr. Green. My name is Hugh and I'm a few years older than you. Why don't you just call me by my name? Since you said that, then don't call me Mr. Liddell too. Just call me Dave. Haha. Okay, you're such a straightforward person, Dave. When you come to Lake City next time, you have to give me a call so that I can entertain you. Don't worry, Hugh, I will definitely contact you when I'm in Lake City, David said. Wasn't his cousin Lily from his youngest aunt's house in university in Lake City? Perhaps he would need Hugh's help in the future. Well, I won't disturb you now. I still need to rush back to Lake City this afternoon. Dave, remember, you have to contact me if you're in Lake City. I am pretty respected there too. I will. After Hugh left, Jack and Sean followed him out. Pearl stayed in the room. She knew she would need to serve this extremely young boss in front of her now. Miss Pearl, I'll hand this hotel to you from now on, David said to Pearl who stayed. Don't worry, Mr. Liddell, I won't let you down. I'll definitely manage this hotel well. Inside the chairman's office in Golden Leaf Hotel, Hugh and Sean were inside. Sean, the boss of this hotel is going to change soon. If you want to stay, I can talk to Dave. You can be a department manager if you can't be a general manager. Sean heard that Hugh wanted him to stay as a department manager, but he could not afford to offend him. After all, the rank of a department manager and a general manager were very different. The treatment was also very different, so he said quickly, Mr. Green, I don't want to work here anymore if you're not here. I want to follow you. Sean, I don't have a suitable position for you for now. Why don't I give you a year's salary and you can look for another job? What do you say, Mr. Green? There are still years left for the contract we signed. You can't abandon me like this, Sean said, feeling a little anxious. Sean, I've already made it so clear. Why don't you understand? Do you want me to spell it out for you? Do you think I don't know what you've been doing these past years? I can keep one eye closed as long as you don't test my limits. If I want to pursue the matter, just depending on the severity of the things you've done, you might have to spend 8 to 10 years behind bars. When Sean heard what Hugh said, he was immediately drenched in a cold sweat. He thought he was hiding what he did all those years well, and he thought that money meant nothing to a hotel with an annual profit of $1 billion. He did not expect the boss to find out what he did. Sean wiped the cold sweat from his forehead and said, I understand, Mr. Green. I'll pack my things and get out of here. You've been working for me for so many years, so you should go to Mr. Hanson, and take your annual salary before leaving. Thank you, Mr. Green. Sean left the room after he said that. After David left the hotel, he was about to buy a sports car. However, after he looked around, he saw that there was none that he liked. They were all mass-produced cars, and the slightly more expensive ones would need him to pre-order them. Therefore, he bought a laptop and some branded clothes to change into before going back home. As he lay on the leather sofa, he checked the system and saw that he had another 20 lavish points. Host: David Liddell. Balance: $9,999,992,892,598,996. Body: 19 weak. Mind: 28 normal. Skills: driving introductory. Lavish points: 20. His body had reached 19 points and it was still weak. His mind was still 28 points. He had an introductory driving skill on his skill column. David added 11 lavish points to his body. His body immediately increased to 30 points and it changed from weak to normal. His body also began warming up. It only cooled down after a minute. Then, David added 6 lavish points to his mind. His mind increased from 28 to 34 points. At that moment, his brain felt refreshed. It seemed that he had become smarter. After this, he added the remaining points to his driving skills. After he did that, David felt a little sweaty. So, he went to the 28th floor and took off his clothes before jumping into the crystal clear pool. This is great. David swam a few laps in the pool and exclaimed as he lay on the side of the pool. After he got out, he saw a huge mirror. As he walked nearer to the mirror, he saw the reflection of a person in the mirror. Is that me? David could not believe it. Even though the face in the mirror belonged to him, his body was completely different. Even though David was handsome back then, he was thin. So, he did not look that good even though he was 180 centimeters tall. Right now, the person in the mirror had curves on his body and did not look thin anymore. He looked powerful. After being stuck in a daze for a while, David came back to his senses and said, "This system is amazing." After he changed into his new branded clothes, David walked in front of the mirror again. The reflection in the mirror showed a top-tier handsome, nicely built, tall, and rich man. He would be the perfect candidate as a boy toy with that appearance. David said pretentiously, "Gentlemen, watch your girlfriends, sisters, and aunts because daddy's going out." Haha. In the evening, David walked into the Golden Leaf Hotel with his head high. "Hello, Mr. Liddell." "Hello, Mr. Liddell." 4 beautiful attendants at the door greeted Liddell with admiration in their eyes. The news about David becoming their boss had spread throughout the hotel. Pearl had started handling the affairs of a general manager and the previous general manager Sean had already left. After David entered the hall, the 4 attendants started discussing among themselves. "Mr. Liddell is so young and handsome." "Yes, he's so handsome and rich. He's the man of my dreams that I've been waiting for." "Mr. Liddell won't fall for you." "How do you know? What if I'm his cup of tea?" "TCH, Mr. Liddell's cup of tea is Ms. Warner. Don't you know that you'll get bored eating the same food? If Mr. Liddell wants a change of taste, then our time will come." David did not hear the discussion behind him. After he walked into the lobby, Pearl came to him. "Miss Pearl, why are you still here? Didn't I promote you to the general manager? Did you not go to the handover?" David asked curiously. "Mr. Liddell, I've taken all the affairs of the general manager. I am here to greet you. Also, this is your driver's license." Pearl handed David a small booklet. "Thanks, Miss Pearl. You should get on with your job. I'll leave after I'm finished." "Right, may I know if your friend and her husband are free? I want to buy them a meal to thank them." "All right, I'll ask them. I'm a little busy now and I don't know a lot of things." "I won't accompany you then, Mr. Liddell." Pearl asked a receptionist from the front desk to take David to dinner before leaving. "Mr. Liddell, please come with me," the receptionist said respectfully to him. "I know the way. You don't need to take me." "Mr. Liddell, we changed your room today, so just let me lead the way," the receptionist said. "A new room? Why?" David asked. "Mr. Liddell, you were the VIP yesterday so you were using private room 3, but you're the chairman now and the chairman eats in private room 1, the receptionist explained. "All right, lead the way." David did not quibble over this anymore. After dinner, David drove around River City. Even though it was almost dark, River City was a city that never slept. A lot of shops would close at 12, but David still did not find the sports car he liked. After he asked around, he found out that the limited edition sports cars would be sold out the moment they were released. So, they would not end up in dealerships. They were only available in some high-end dealerships and the price would be marked up. After David thought about it, he figured that only person who would have connections about this was the ex-boss of Golden Leaf Hotel, Hugh. So, he gave Hugh a call. Hugh picked up the call very quickly. "Dave, you're already in Lake City." Hugh's voice could be heard through the phone. "Hugh, I'm still in River City. However, I need your help with something. I want to buy a limited edition sports car. Do you have any connections for that?" David asked. "You like collecting limited edition sports cars too, Dave?" "Hugh, which man doesn't like cars?" "Haha, you're right. You're asking the right person. I just opened a dealership with my friends and we specialize in selling second-hand cars." Hugh did indeed open a dealership with his friends, but his dealership only sold high-end cars and they would not even look at cars that were below 10 million. "That's great. Can you help me check for some that are suitable for me?" "Dave, I have a limited edition Bugatti Veyron that was released 3 years ago. There are only 8 in the world and the market price back then was 60 million. However, since it's limited, the price has hiked a little and it's around 80 million now. What do you think?" "Alright, do you have any photos? Can you send me some so I can check it out?" "Okay, I'll send them to you later. I think it suits you very well. If you drive this car into SRU, you'll definitely look cool as hell." "Haha, Hugh, you know me so well. I'll transfer the money to you now. Are you coming to Lake City to get it, or do you want me to send it to you?" "I'll go get it on Labor Day. I have some business in Lake City during Labor Day anyway." David said. He was going to visit his cousin Lily on Labor Day. While he was at it, he would let her experience the upper-class lifestyle. He could not explain so many things in detail over the phone. David immediately transferred 80 million to Hugh because right now, money was just a number to him. After he got his sports car, David went back home. After he opened his brand new laptop, he downloaded Whale Streaming and registered a new account using the username LilMatch. David had never seen Whale Streaming before because he could not afford a computer. Whale Streaming was the largest streaming platform on the computer while TikTok was the largest on mobile. The two basically dominated over 80% of their respective industries. After David entered the ID for his cousin's stream, he saw that it was about 11 p.m. and that girl was having a lot of fun in her stream. After he entered the Steam, Lily was thanking the people who bought her gifts. However, their gifts were small in size, and they only cost about $8 or $10. When David looked at the biggest amount gifted, it was only a little over 10,000 while the second ranking was only a few hundred. David felt that he should tell this girl during Labor Day that her cousin was a quadrillionaire now and perhaps her gift was too cheap. If others learned about this, David would be so humiliated. After he topped up 10 million to his account, he was about to buy some gifts for Lily. He wanted to give her tens of millions, but after thinking about it, he gave up on that idea. He was worried that he would scare her. He should wait and give it to her when he went to Lake City during Labor Day. That way, he could also tell his aunt in advance so that she would not suspect that David was doing some illegal business. "Thank you for your gift, Mr. W. Thank you for the gift, Star. Thank you for the sports car, Senior. Thank you." After David looked closely, David saw someone named Senior giving Lily a sports car. A sports car cost 200 each and this person named Senior was rank 1. LilMatch. "Cutie, why don't you call me handsome? I'll steal rank 1 from that guy in just 1 second. Lake City. Inside the dormitory of Cloud Lake University. Lily was thanking the people who gave her gifts in her stream. Then, a comment attracted her attention. Hence, she did not hesitate before saying, "LilMatch, you're so handsome. Are you sure you want to do that?" "LilMatch, of course." David continued, "Well then, I shall thank you, handsome LilMatch." At this moment, the person named Senior who was rank 1 said something. "Senior. Dude, who are you? How dare you try to steal my rank? We'll see if you have the ability to do that." David was too lazy to reply to him. Then, he chose the most expensive super rocket. Launch. LilMatch has given streamer Dumpling a Super Rocket X1. David sent a message. "LilMatch, are you going to follow? Senior has given streamer Dumpling a Super Rocket X1. LilMatch has given streamer Dumpling a Super Rocket X2. LilMatch has given streamer Dumpling a Super Rocket X3. LilMatch had given streamer Dumpling a Super Rocket X66. A super rocket cost $2,000 each. 66 of them would be more than $100,000. The guy named Senior who was rank 1 did not dare to follow after giving out a dozen of super rockets. The stream was gaining some popularity too since the platform would broadcast this if someone gifted 6 super rockets in one go. The comments also filled the screen. Damn, what a baller. Why does the name Lil Match sound so familiar? It's that super baller on TikTok. Last night, he gave a streamer gifts worth 2.6 million in an hour. Are you for real? It's him. I didn't think he'd come here. What a baller. He immediately gifted 66 super rockets in one go. Damn, why didn't I hear about him before? He just started, and he'll only buy gifts for the small streamers. Lake City. Inside the female dormitory in Cloud Lake University. Wow, Lily, who is that? How can he be so generous? Is that one of the seniors that have a crush on you? Yeah, he's much more generous than Don. Also, Don said he likes you, but when we gave him your streaming ID, he only gave you a little over 10,000 bucks. He stopped following after a few dozen super rockets. This guy named Lil Match is so generous. Lily was very confused too. She had no idea who Lil Match was, yet he immediately gave her 100,000 worth of gifts the moment he came in. She just started streaming not long ago, and the people who supported her were all students from the same university. Most of them were her classmates. Don was her senior and he had always been rank 1 in her stream. He was a year older than her, and was currently pursuing her. Girls, do you think I should add him as a friend? Lily asked. Streamers would usually add some of the nouveau riches as friends so that they could keep the nouveau riches around and have them continue to give them gifts. It was said that some streamers would see those nouveau riches in person and make some sacrifices just so they could keep them in their contacts. Lily, just ignore him for now. It's just 100,000. Our Lily is not so cheap. If he wants to pursue you, he will expose himself on campus. David stopped after giving out more than 100,000. It was not that he was unwilling to spend more after all, he would not bat an eyelid even if he had to give his cousin billions or tens of billions. However, he was worried that he would scare the girl if he overdid it. He would decide when he went to Lake City during Labor Day. After David gave out the gifts, he exited the stream without telling people who he was. Then, he just wandered around Whale streaming to see which streamer was his cup of tea. When he entered their stream, he would give them 66 super rockets in one go. He had given out the same gifts to more than a dozen people in the span of an hour. At this point, he had given out more than 1 million and he had appeared in the news more than 10 times. With that, David's ID Lil Match blew up in Whale streaming for a while. A lot of small streamers were longing for this big shot to enter their stream. If he entered their stream, they would get 66 super rockets and it could also boost their traffic. After wandering around for an hour, he noticed there were a few words on the bottom right of his computer screen just as he was about to go downstairs. David clicked on it and the interface changed. It was showing, locating, please wait. In less than 10 seconds, a new batch of streams appeared. These streams should be the ones happening closer to David's location. Most of them should also be in River City. David chose a more popular stream and opened them. When he entered the stream, he saw that the streamer was one of the 3 most beautiful girls in South River University, Amelia Hahn. Amelia was an influential figure at South River University. Not only was she gorgeous, but she was also very talented. Her seductive and charming dance conquered more than 80% of the male creatures during the freshman party. After that, there was a lot of talk surrounding her. Some said she was amorous with a few of the handsome and rich boys from different universities, but none of them could get her, including Leo Tate. In order to win her over, those handsome and rich guys would give her snacks from overseas, branded clothes, and branded bags. One of them even gave her a BMW sports car worth hundreds of thousands. She was the true master. She wandered among so many rich and handsome guys but did not let any of them get her so easily. At the same time, this could trigger the competitiveness and desire to conquer her from inside those guys. Amelia was very talented, and she was also stunning. Moreover, so many in South River University were chasing after her, so naturally, her stream was pretty popular. At this point, there was already a few thousand people watching. David's existence naturally caused a small uproar in the stream. After all, he just gave out over $1 million and there were more than a dozen advertisements about him ongoing. At the same time, his account had also leveled up to over level 100. One could level up once they gave out gifts in Whale streaming. They would go up one level if they gave out 10,000 bucks, and there was no limit to the growth. The higher their level, the more extravagant their entrance. David just gave out 1.72 million, so that would be 172 levels. This was already the highest level in this stream. He immediately became rank 1 the moment he entered. The one in rank 2 was only at level 120. Welcome to the stream, Mr. Lil Match. The moment David entered the stream, he heard Amelia's voice. He did not want to waste time saying any nonsense, so he directly gave her 66 super rockets. Lil Match gave streamer Honey Super Rocket X1. Thank you Mr. Lil Match for the super rockets, kisses. Do you want to hear me sing or watch me dance? Amelia asked. She wanted to keep this big shot around. Damn, Lil Match is here. Matchy is such a baller. The moment he enters a stream, it doesn't matter which one it is, he will definitely give them 66 super rockets. Mad respect for you, Matchy. I've been chasing you for the whole day and I finally found you. Mr. Match, do you still need someone to hold your bag for you? Countless comments appeared on the screen. At this moment, another big shot entered the stream and their level was even higher than David's. He was at level 298 and he immediately pushed David down to rank 2. This guy named Mr. Leo commented the moment he entered the stream. Since his level was very high, his comment bubble would be very shiny and eye-catching. Amelia, if I were to snatch the position of rank 1 tonight, would you really go on a date with me? Yes, Leo, if you snatch the position of rank 1 tonight, I'll go on a date with you tomorrow, Amelia replied in a sweet voice. The audiences went wild when they saw this. Damn, who is this? Is our goddess going to fall into his hands? That's Mr. Perfect Leo Tate from our campus. His family is super rich. I guess Leo is going to spend all of his money to get Amelia tonight. There will be huge news tomorrow. I've already come up with the title. We'll just call it, Mr. Perfect Leo Tate spent millions winning over the most beautiful girl on campus, Amelia Hahn. This is good. This will definitely become the headline of the campus newspaper. David initially wanted to leave. However, when he saw this, Leo already had Sarah and yet, he was here chasing after Amelia, and he even wanted to steal rank 1 so he could date Amelia. Keep dreaming, you bastard. They've to ruin your plan. I'll get some of the interest from you first, and then I'll collect the cost from you. Slowly after, Leo was ready to win over Amelia tonight. He had been pursuing her for so long and he had given her so many gifts, but he had never succeeded nor been rejected. He was itching to get her as Amelia was. Indeed, someone who could cause a man to excrete too many hormones when she was around. His parents were businesspeople and were pretty popular in River City. They had net worths of over $1 billion, so they were always throwing away money by the fistful. In addition to that, Leo was also known as Mr. Perfect on campus. He had been in the university for 3 years, and whenever he had his eyes on a girl, he would use money to win them over and had never failed thus far. Not only that, he had fooled around with a few female streamers. However, he eventually met his match when he found Amelia. He spent hundreds of thousands in a span of a few months on her, but had never even held her hand. Of course, this happened to a few of the other guys pursuing Amelia too. However, this triggered the desire to conquer inside Leo's heart. Therefore, he decided he would win Amelia over no matter how much money he spent today. Not only would this fulfill his desire, but this would also be a slap to the faces of the other pursuers. As for Sarah, she was past tense and he was about done with her. If Sarah did not mind, he could still fool around with her for a few more days. However, if she wanted to compete with Amelia for his love, she should just FCK off. Amelia was not in a good mood recently. Even though her family background was normal, she was cute growing up, hence her parents did everything they could to cultivate her. Plus, she was very talented in singing and dancing. Therefore, she was always the center of attention from junior high to senior high. It was still the same even when she was at South River University, as soon after, she became the person everyone would chase after. She kept wandering between a few rich and handsome guys. She would let them give her all kinds of gifts just so they could get her. Someone even gave her a BMW sports car that cost hundreds of thousands. However, she did not dare to accept this and would only ever accept some of the clothes or bags. After that, she would sell these gifts at low prices and get herself some money. Then, she thought about streaming and getting gifts from her viewers. In just a few months, she got more than millions in gift bonuses. She was overjoyed at the turn of events because this was much faster than selling her gifts at low prices. However, recently she realized that these people's hearts were not on her anymore. A few of them had already got themselves partners. More importantly, one of her two protectors, Leo, was also going after others. She heard that over the past few days, he would bring Sarah to Golden Leaf Hotel. This ignited a sense of urgency within her. She knew this kind of relationship would not last. After all, they were not fools. They had invested so much in her and they did not even get anything substantive back, so it would be better to just go after others. With that, she made a decision tonight to hint to those who were pursuing her. As long as they could get ON rank 1, then she would go on a date with them. She saw that one of her protectors, Leo, was here while the other one, Jacob Carter, was not here yet. If the both of them were here, she would be able to make a fortune tonight. When Leo heard Amelia's response, he immediately started to steal rank 1. He looked at the total amount of gifts on rank 1 and he saw it was $780,000. It was all from Jacob. He was at rank 2 and he had spent about $400,000, which meant that if he gave her another $400,000, he would be able to get rank 1. Of course, he had to do it without Jacob around. He had given out more than $2 million of gifts over these 2 years. However, he had only fooled around with a few small streamers with this money. Speak of the devil, Jacob's ID. Jacob the Brave entered the stream at this moment. His level 380 account immediately pushed Leo lower down the rank the moment he entered. Ames, I'm here, Jacob immediately commented. Welcome, Jacob, thank you for your support. Ames, I'm prepared today. I will definitely bring you on that date with me. Jacob, I'll be waiting for you. Leo's comment interrupted both of them. Jacob, old boy, I'm still here. Don't be so proud yet. It will be embarrassing for you if you fail. Leo, old chap, I never saw you as my competition. Let's see who's the stronger one now. Even though the two of them said that, their hearts were racing in their chests. Their family backgrounds were almost the same and they were not fools. If they continued this, both sides would suffer. However, they had no choice. When they thought about Amelia's soft and weak body and her seductive voice, the two of them felt as if they were given adrenaline shots. No more nonsense. They started launching super rockets. Mr. Leo gave streamer Honey Super Rocket X1. Jacob the Brave gave streamer Honey Super Rocket X1. Mr. Leo gave streamer Honey Super Rocket X66. Jacob the Brave gave streamer Honey Super Rocket X66. Half an hour later, Mr. Leo gave streamer Honey Super Rocket X1314. Jacob the Brave gave streamer Honey Super Rocket X1314. The stream was going wild. The number of viewers had reached more than 100,000. Numerous comments about how lavish they were appeared on the screen. Amelia was also going crazy. However, she was going crazy from happiness. She did not expect the two to be so generous and the two of them to give her more than $2 million in gifts. After this, she would be able to get about $3 million in bonuses. She could not even wrap her head around this fact. 2. At this moment, Leo and Jacob started to come to their senses. If they kept doing this, it would be fine if they could win over Amelia. If they could not, they would die from anger. This was not an auction. Even though the highest bidder would win, they would not be able to get back the gifts they gave out. 1. With that, Leo called Jacob. When Jacob answered, Leo did not spew any nonsense and went straight to the point. Old boy, I'm about to use $5 million to win over Amelia. If you want to give more, then I'll quit and you can give me back those gifts I gave out. What do you think? On the other end of the phone, Jacob stayed silent for a while before answering. Old chap, transfer $3 million to me now and I will stop fighting over Amelia with you. If you don't like this idea, then we can fight to our deaths. Leo thought about it and replied, all right, I'll transfer $3 million to you now. You are not allowed to interact with Amelia from now on. Deal. Jacob's voice could be heard from the other end. Leo immediately transferred $3 million to Jacob. Even though the people on their level were scoundrels to some degree, they were men of their words. Leo did the math and realized he still needed to spend about $400,000 to get to rank 1. By now, he had already spent more than $6 million on Amelia in total. Even if his family had assets worth hundreds of millions, he would still feel pain after spending more than $6 million in one go. However, it would be worth it if he could win over Amelia. Inside the stream, after Jacob received Leo's $3 million, he immediately quit the stream. His rocket stopped at 1314. The viewers in the stream were stunned. They were still fighting to their deaths just now, yet one of them had quit all of a sudden. Leo gave Amelia 200 rockets again and it just about exceeded Jacob. With this, right now, he was on rank 1. Amelia, I'm rank 1 now. Jacob has already admitted defeat and left. I'll be waiting for you tomorrow night. There was another uproar in the stream. In that moment, everyone was saying all sorts of things in the stream. This was what Leo wanted. He was declaring sovereignty. Amelia had no choice now. She did not know why Jacob had suddenly left. She knew their backgrounds and it was about the same. Initially, her plan was to let the two keep fighting and then let their gifts stay on the same level, so after that, she could date the both of them at the same time. They would not dare to do anything to her if the three of them went out together. However, Jacob's sudden exit ruined her plan. Even though she got gifts worth more than 5 million, she knew something would go wrong if she went out alone with Leo. When Amelia thought about this, she sighed silently in her heart. Her initially perfect plan was ruined, and she could only admit this. Thankfully, she still had more than 2 million worth of gifts to comfort her. Leo, I'll wait for your call tomorrow. Amelia's voice could be heard from the stream again. There was another uproar in the stream. Oh no, my goddess, my heart hurts so much I can't breathe. Another goddess is leaving us. Leo's gigantic and golden comment appeared on the screen. Ha, alright, Amelia, I'll let you have a wonderful night tomorrow. David figured it was almost time, so he commented. Since he was a level 100 account, his comment was pretty eye-catching too. I heard I can get a date with the streamer if I steal rank 1. David asked. Matchy, save our goddess. Yeah, Matchy, save our goddess from the claws of this devil. What do you mean by saving her? If Matchy steals rank 1, goddess will be Matchy's. I still want Matchy to steal rank 1. Normal comments filled the screen. I just want to ask, can I date you if I steal rank 1? David asked again. Yes, Amelia said. Alright. David stopped talking and started launching rockets. Lil Matchy gave streamer Honey Super Rocket X1. 10 minutes later, Lil Matchy gave streamer Honey Super Rocket X666. Half an hour later, Lil Matchy gave streamer Honey Super Rocket X1314. 1 hour later, Lil Matchy gave streamer Honey Super Rocket X2520. 2 hours later, Lil Matchy gave streamer Honey Super Rocket X5200. The viewers were stunned. Leo was stunned. Amelia was also stunned. The popularity of the stream had risen to 300,000 plus. What kind of concept was 5,200 super rockets? That was more than 10 million bucks. This was the biggest single transaction in whale streaming history. Mr. Match, what a baller. Formidable Mr. Match, Mr. Match, you're so overbearing. Mr. Match, you're my idol. Mr. Match, I want to have your babies. Countless comments appeared on the screen. Leo felt as horrible as if he had eaten a live fly. His 6 million bucks had gone to waste and he had got nothing for it in return. Right now, he wanted to murder someone. He took out his phone and called Sarah. He needed to vent right now. The call went through. Hello, Leo, what's the matter? Why are you calling me so late at night? Sarah's voice came from the other end of the phone. Sarah, come out now. I'll wait for you at the entrance of the campus, Leo said into the phone. Leo, it's 2:30 a.m., can we talk tomorrow instead? I'm telling you to come out now. Leo said through gritted teeth. But, no buts. Get out here right the FCK now. If not, you'll know the consequences. After Leo finished saying that, he slammed the phone down. On the other end of the phone, Sarah was woken up by Leo's phone call. After a few words, she was shocked by Leo's behavior. After hesitating for a while, Sarah slowly got up. Since she was worried that she would wake her roommates, she slowly started to feel around for her clothes. Back when she was with David, this would never happen. David loved her to the bones and he would always be considerate of her. As long as she said she was hungry, David would send food to the lobby of her dormitory no matter how late it was. Then, he would call her to come to get it. Plus, he had never spoken to her in that kind of tone. In addition to that, David respected her a lot. He had been with her for 4 years and since she said she was not ready, he never went over the line. However, after she started seeing Leo, aside from the first few times when he was good to her and would give her all kinds of gifts, his true self started showing after he got her. He did not care about her body at all. It was 2:30 a.m. and he was still forcing her to come out to see him. He must be blinded by lust again. When Sarah thought about this, tears started falling out of her eyes. She could only blame herself for being too foolish, too naive, and too vain. Sarah's roommate and best friend Sophie Clarkson woke up after she heard the movements. Then, she saw it was from Sarah's bed. "Sarah, what are you doing?" Sophie rubbed her eyes and asked. "It's nothing, Soph. Go back to bed. I'm a little hungry and Leo's at the entrance of the campus. He said he wants to take me to get something to eat," Sarah replied. Sophie could hear that something was not right with Sarah's voice. Since there were only two of them in the room, Sophie got up and turned on the lights to see Sarah sobbing as she put on her clothes. Sophie quickly walked over and held Sarah. "Sarah, what's wrong? Did Leo bully you again?" "And no." "What do you mean no?" "He must have." "Sarah, I told you he's not a good person and I told you to stay away from him, but you didn't listen to me. Look at what's happening now." "Soph, I'll be fine. Why are you still lying? I found you crying secretly at night a few times." "Sarah, I don't understand. David loved you so much, but why did you choose Leo? Was it because he's rich?" "Soph, stop talking. Sarah, leave Leo and get David back. David is the one who truly loves you and he's also the one who can truly give you happiness. Leo only likes new and shiny things. He had more than a dozen girlfriends during these few years and they were all dumped after he got bored of them. Soph, I can't go back now. I can't go back to the way it was now." Sarah could not hold it in anymore. Then, she started crying in Sophie's arms. After a few minutes, Sarah was done crying and she climbed out of Sophie's arms to start putting on her clothes again. Sophie stopped Sarah and said, "Sarah, it's so late. Don't go. Just talk about whatever this is tomorrow." "No, I can't. He's waiting for me at the entrance. If I don't go, he'll dump me." "So what? What's the big deal about that?" But I am pregnant with his child. If he doesn't want me, what am I going to do?" Sarah said through her tears. "Sarah, you," sigh. Sophie did not know what to say now, so she could only sigh. However, she pulled back her hand that was stopping Sarah from putting on her clothes. After Sarah put on her clothes, she rushed to the entrance of the campus. Amelia was so excited, her face was bright red. "Mr. Match, thank you for the 5,200 super rockets. I love you, Mr. Match, kisses." Then, she accepted the friend request David sent her. After they were friends, Amelia sent him a message. "Amelia, Mr. Match, let's follow each other on Instagram. This is my number, I'll wait for your call tomorrow." Then, the two followed each other on Instagram. Thanks for listening, please subscribe.